For the last couple years, the most popular guns are the ones where there's a lot of technology going into capacity. We saw that come out with the SIG P365. It just revolutionized the gun industry, and then everybody starts coming out with these tiny little micro high capacity guns. The problem is most people are sacrificing accuracy for capacity. This is a big problem. Now, before I get into it, I do want to take a moment. Thank our sponsor, ES Power Drink, for not just supporting this channel, but really allowing me to put down Trinidad scorpion peppers for the health benefits. It heats up my body. It really just gets me burning calories, boosting my immune system. I sleep better. I have a better outlook on life. I have more energy. And I can't eat those things at all. There's no way. And if I did once, it'd just be once. But what this does is it allows you to build up a tolerance to that thing, to where one day maybe you are chowing on them. That link is below. When it comes to concealed carry guns, the latest craze, so to say, the trending in these small concealed carry guns is the smaller and the more capacity you can get in, the better the gun. Well, I'm here to tell you this isn't true. This is not true, because accuracy matters. I would rather have 6 shots in a real accurate gun than 10 shots in an inaccurate gun. And I think human nature of people disagrees with me, and I'm just going to give you an example. There was a moment in time when I was taking a class. It was airsoft handgun training, where we were going against each other, kind of in a course. It was 1-on-1 versus, or 2-on-2, or 2 versus 1, or whatever the case may be. You were just put in different scenarios where you're put into a course. And what I saw most people doing, there was about 50, 60 people there, and you'd wait in line for your turn. And what I saw about 58 of those 60 people doing is just blasting off as many rounds as they can get out of that gun as human. Like, somehow, if I'm just blasting off rounds, I'm doing better. Now, this is a big problem. But that's human nature. So that's why people want a lot of rounds. They just want to blast off tons of rounds and think somehow this is helping me in a self-defense situation. But in my head, in that scenario, I was an educator, and you can't just blast off rounds in a crowd. There were many times I'd be standing in line waiting my turn, and I'm getting hit with airsoft. It was very consistently stray bullets everywhere all the time. So when I went into that course, I tried to achieve what I needed to achieve. If it was me against one person, was 1 shot. Achieve this with 1 shot. If there were 2 people, we're going to get this done with 2 shots. I'm not going to pull that trigger unless it's going to be accurate and sure. And I found myself doing a lot better than most, because I think I just was like, if I'm not just blasting off rounds, because most people ran out of bullets pretty quick, actually. So the point of this is, and I want to give an example of a gun, because it was really, I did a video talking about a gun I carry, the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard in 380. And I commented in that video, hey, Smith & Wesson, why don't you do what Ruger did and do like a Smith & Wesson Max, Bodyguard Max, and, get a 10+1 like Ruger did with the LCP. And a ton of comments were like, oh, you could just buy the Ruger LCP Max, and I'm like, here's the problem. I've owned that gun. When I saw it at the store, I thought, oh, there's a game changer. There is a game changer. Love my Bodyguard, but I'm going to get this LCP Max because it's a 10+1. Now, I'm going to put a video right here of Jerry Michalek taking that Bodyguard and drilling a target 200 yards away. It's a very, very accurate, tiny little gun. Very accurate. Surprisingly accurate for how tiny it is. And again, most people sacrifice accuracy for concealability. Like, people think, well, I got a tiny gun, so it's just not accurate, but that's okay. Most things happen within a few yards away and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to sacrifice accuracy. And the moment I really had a chance to really unload a bunch of rounds through that Ruger LCP Max, I thought, this thing isn't accurate at all. And I know it's going to make a lot of people mad, because can I hit a target at 10 yards? Sure. Can I hit it at 20? Sure. But it kind of all, you got like a group about like that. At 15 yards, you get groups. If not, some just didn't even hit the paper at all. Whereas in that Bodyguard, you just put it like that at 25 yards. It's just a different thing altogether. And again, there's no way you're drilling targets at 200 yards with the Ruger LCP Max. So I would rather have the 6+1 accuracy any day of the week over the 10+1 inaccuracy. And again, I'm not trying to insult your gun. I'm not trying to say that my gun's better than your gun. I'm just saying my experience and what I've seen from others is the Bodyguard's a very accurate handgun, and the Ruger LCP is not. I mean, it just isn't. That's okay. There's probably people out there that are very accurate. I'm just not one of them. So I think that, the point of this video, again, isn't to say my gun's better than your gun. That's not what this is. What this is really trying to show you that you don't have to sacrifice accuracy, and definitely don't trade accuracy for capacity. And that's what a lot of people are doing, is they're just, I got this really accurate gun. Maybe it's a 6-shot revolver, darn accurate. But here's this other gun that holds 17+1, but it's not accurate, or it's not, at least I'm not as accurate with it. You're better off. You are better off with the accuracy. Because, every bullet that leaves your gun, you're responsible for that bullet. So if you're just blasting off rounds in a crowd because there's a guy at 20 yards away shooting, but you're drilling all the people around him and property around him, you're responsible for that. And if you're in a draw with somebody and your rounds are kind of hitting them in the shoulder or the wall behind them and his are just center mass, you're going down. You're going down. Accuracy matters. It matters tremendously. So, I know there's a lot of guns coming out. It is the latest craze to have these, these max guns, these guns that are tiny little guns holding 17+1 rounds, 21+1 rounds. It's beautiful to see. I love the technology that's going into this craze, or this trend at least. But the reality is pick accuracy first. Pick it first. Then pick capacity, and if your gun's not accurate, get a new one. And obviously there's a human aspect to this too, obviously. My experience is some guns I shoot accurately, some guns I don't. You may shoot this gun accurate and then you don't that one. I don't know. But whatever reason, if you get a good accurate gun that's low, I'd rather have one accurate shot than 17 inaccurate shots. I just would. Ideally I have two, but at least. But I would rather have just one accurate shot. Because if you think about a scenario where you're shooting at somebody, you just need to be sure and true when you take that shot, and then just make sure your second follow-up shot is sure and true before you pull that second trigger. Whereas in most people, there's boom, 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 bullets all over the darn place. So there you go. Focus on accuracy first, then start focusing on capacity. Second, make it secondary to accuracy. And that's really the point of this whole video. So any thoughts or insight on any of this, definitely put it below. I definitely want to take a moment and say that most people watch this channel, not subscribers. Click that subscribe button. It greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get these messages out. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests. So please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.